This video is brought to you by Saraswati Vidyalaya Union. Hello, this is Prapti. Today we are going to study about the respiration and circulation. From that, today's topic is ECG, that is known as the electrocardiogram. In this, we are going to study about the P wave, QRS wave and C wave.
Now
let's see.
Electrocardiogram. In many movies as well as in many hospitals, the doctors are suggesting to do ECG. Okay, what is this ECG? Is it engine, clutch and gear? No, it is not the engine, clutch and gear. So what is this ECG? ECG means what? Electrocardiogram. Now here the one suggestion I'll give you, don't get confused in electrocardiogram and electrocardiograph. In this, the thing is whatever the graphical structure you are observing, this graphical structure, it is known as the electrocardiogram. Okay, and electrocardiograph is what? That is the instrument which is useful for the ECG. That is the electrocardiograph. Okay, don't get confused in this. This is not the electrocardiograph. It is what? Electrocardiogram. So now we'll see in detail. See that in many movies you will have observed, like this is the thing. Whenever the patient is not feeling well, he is on ventilator, you have seen like this, and at the end you can see this. This means what? That person is died. Okay, so here in this thing we are going to study about this ECG. Okay, whenever doctors are suggesting to do ECG, so we have to also know what is this ECG, how to read that ECG. Okay, now let's see about this electrocardiogram. This electrocardiogram, that is a graphical recording of electrical variation detected at the surface of body during their propagation through the wall of heart. It is called as the electrocardiogram. Remember this one in the last year's textbook. The definition was given very easy. Here slightly changes are there. Here the thing you have to remember, that graphical record of electrical potential which are generated by the heart. It is known as the electrocardiogram. Graphical recording. Remember this one. Graphical recording of electrical potential detected at the surface of the body during their propagation through the wall of heart. It is known as the electrocardiogram. Now the next thing is there, that is known as the electrocardiograph. Electrocardiograph, it is the instrument, it is a machine which is used to do the ECG, and that machine, it is known as the electrocardiograph. So here this machine can detect and as well as it amplifies the signals. Okay, that minute signals also they are identifying. See that before the ECG, before the sonography, they are putting some gel. Okay, and then they are putting the electrodes. So what is the function of these gels? So these gels can find out the smallest changes into the heart. Means there is electrical variation. They can find out that electrical variation and they are amplifying that variation. So now here, see that the different waves observed on this electrocardiogram. Okay, here you can observe the three types of wave. First wave, it is known as the P wave. Okay, second wave, which is known as the QRS wave. And the third type of wave, which is known as the T wave. These are the three different types of wave you can see into that graph. In this electrocardiogram, so for recording purpose, many electrodes are used. These electrodes are giving information about the various signals. Okay, so like that 4 electrodes are used on the limbs and there are total 6 electrodes are there. Remember this one, 4 electrodes are used on the limbs. means 2 electrodes are there, that is on the hands, and 2 electrodes are there, that is on the legs. Like this, 4 electrodes on the limbs, as well as 6 electrodes are there. These 6 electrodes are putting on the chest, and that electrodes are known as the chest electrodes, which are giving information about these signals. And with the help of that, we are getting this graph, which is known as the electrocardiogram. Okay, this graphical recording we are getting with the help of this. Now, what are these waves? How you can read on this graph? See that here it is P wave. In your textbook it is not given, but remember this one. It is P wave, it is QRS wave, P wave, QRS wave, and here this is the T wave. Okay, so below the baseline some this wave are there, and above the baseline also slightly changes are there in these waves. Now this we are going to study. Okay, now in this the first one is there, that is known as the P wave. Okay, see that these are the P wave, means that is a slight, means small upward deflection, from the baseline of that graph. This is the baseline of the graph, and above that baseline of the graph, the small deflection is there, that is only known as the P wave. This is only known as the P wave. Small deflection above the baseline of the graph, it is known as the P wave. Understood? So this P wave, what it explained? It explained this atrial depolarization. Okay, atrial depolarization. Then means here what happened? Atrial depolarization means what it identifies, that atria are working properly or not. Means that contraction of atria. If the atrial contraction is proper, so then this PQ wave, PQ interval is the proper. Okay. Now the second one is there, that is known as the QRS wave. You can see that this QRS wave, but this QRS wave which starts slight deflection just below that baseline of that graph. It starts from this. Okay, it starts by the slight deflection from the baseline, and then it continue as a sharp and large upright wave. Understood? It start with the slight deflection from the baseline, then it continue as a sharp and the large upright wave. Okay, and again it ends in the downward deflection. See that below that baseline. Start with also the deflection from below the baseline, ends with the deflection below the baseline. So this is known as the QRS wave. And this QRS wave, which indicates the ventricular depolarization, means both the ventricles get contract. Means that particular part, that ventricle, that chambers, that size of chamber is good or not, it can be identified. The flow of the blood is proper from that or not, so it can be identified with the help of this QRS wave. So that is the second wave, QRS wave. It is also known as a QRS complex. Okay, now the last one is there, that is known as the T wave. So it is small, wide, upwardly, that upwardly moving wave is. Okay, so that is known as the T wave. And this T wave, which can mention the repolarization, ventricular repolarization, means that ventricles get relaxed. Okay, so during this wave, whenever there is both the ventricles get relaxed, so that time T wave is like this. But remember this one, whenever there are slightly changes into these waves, slightly changes into these waves, that means there is some problem in our heart. Okay, so this indicate this ECG. This is a normal ECG. Okay, one heartbeat means that is completed. One heartbeat is completed within 0.8 seconds. Okay, this is about one heartbeat. This is the second heartbeat. During one heartbeat, so this P wave, QRS complex, T wave. Okay, now see that here I have shown few intervals, PR interval, RR interval, ST interval, QT interval. So what is the meaning of that intervals? So these intervals giving information about that heart is working properly or not. Means it gives information about the conducting pathway. That SA node, it carries impulses or not, then it is transmitted towards the AV node or not. This information can be gained with the help of these intervals. As well as, so it gives information about the enlargement of the heart muscles, heart chambers. Is any heart chamber is larger in size or what? Is any heart chamber is smaller in size or what? So this information can be identified with the help of this ECG. As well as this ECG can give information about the damages to that cardiac muscles also. These cardiac muscles which are related to the blood supply. Okay, so all this information we are getting through this ECG, that is electrocardiogram. Here, if suppose there is a slight chest pain is there, that time also doctors are suggesting to do this ECG, because with the help of that we are getting information actually where is the problem. Is the problem in the atrium or in the ventricle or where? That information we are getting with the help of this ECG. As well as this physician find the slight changes into that means there is problem into the heart. Okay, so this physician always examining this P wave,